Hello, I'm Dave.
And I'm Rob.
And you are listening to List Makers, a spin-off podcast from the Doctor Who show where Rob and I are once again going to make some lists. Rob, excited, ready to go?
As ready as I'll ever be.
I've been looking forward all month to this one because our topic this month, which comes from listener Kosta, is top 5 comfort stories. It is the depth of winter here in Australia. It is early, dark nights. It is wrapping yourself in slippers and fireplaces, and this is the perfect topic this month, Rob.
Oh, and having a warm shower. I love having a warm shower and putting on some comfy clothes at this time of year, Dave. It's just really nice.
That is exactly what we're doing this episode. Rob, it's your turn to go first, and after a very snap-heavy episode last month,
yes,
I'm going to say this set of lists are going to be so personal, we could have a zero snap month.
Ooh, I think we might have one.
Okay, well, let's find out, Rob. Please, Mr. Listmaker, make your list.
All right, Dave. In at number 5, I've got The Demons. And The Demons is comfort viewing for me because it feels like spending time in a place that I know, the village of Devil's End. I think it's so well realised in this story. It becomes somewhere you want to revisit. In the sense of rewatching the story, and it's actually a place people do visit in real life and revisit, Oldbourne in Wiltshire. I think there's a real genuine warmth to the way UNIT behave in this story. I think John Pertwee is just at the height of his powers. You know, even with all the occult horror and some genuine moments of danger going on, it's just very comfortable to watch. It's the sort of story I can put on at almost any time and just settle into. I love it.
A good start.
In at number 4, I've got A Christmas Carol. This is comforting to me because it's fundamentally about kindness and redemption. And you layer on the snowy Christmas setting and Michael Gambon's performance and just a sort of a fairy tale feel to it all. And it combines to create something I think that feels warm without being overly sentimental. I mean, indeed, the whole thing hangs on the fact that Abigail is going to die, and she knows she's going to die, and she still sings her heart out at the end. So I think this is more of an emotional sort of comfort for me than a nostalgic pick like The Demons was. Which brings us to number 3, and I'm going with The Caves of Androzani.
Wow.
Now, I know this is an odd choice for comfort viewing because it's relentlessly bleak. I do get that. You know, almost everyone dies. The Doctor and Perry spend most of the show slowly dying as well. But I think watching a classic era story executed this well is very satisfying in itself. It's very comforting in a way for me. Maybe weird, but there you go. Which brings us to number 2, and I'm going with Remembrance of the Daleks. Now, this is comfort viewing for me for different reasons. On the personal side, there's the whole, yes, I was on the afternoon show before episodes of this went out in Australia, and I know some listeners will roll their eyes as I tell the story for the 47th time, but it's such a weird thing for me, right, that anyone in Australia who watched this go out the first time saw me on television. You know, that's just freaking weird. It's also me in the early years of my fandom. This is the first couple of years of being hardcore into fandom and seeing new Doctor Who on television. It just reminds me of that time, and so I like to look at stories from that era. It sort of takes me back to that personal era for me. But at the same time, it's also just a really good story. It's clever and fast-moving. It's funny in places. It's got a 1960s setting, and I love 1960s setting. And that adds a little nostalgia, but it's not the point of the story, which is really cool. And it's also Doctor Who looking amazing. You know, it's something I could show a normie. You know, can you believe that? I mean, I could hardly believe it back then. I can still hardly believe it exists now. It's just one of those stories where I know every beat, but I still get the same satisfaction from watching it all unfold. So number 2 for me. And then finally at number 1... could it be anything else? It's The Five Doctors. This is probably the easiest one to explain because it really is like spending time with old friends. It's comfy slippers, as we like to say in this parish, Dave, you know, bringing together doctors and companions and monsters and locations simply because it's fun to see them. It's playing in a toy box and pulling out all the toys, and the plot is almost secondary to the joy of just the combinations that have been created and what's going on. Whenever I watch it, I'm reminded of why I fell in love with Doctor Who in the first place. It's just really quite magical to me to watch, and comfortable. That is the word for it. Oh, it's just great. That's
not the list I was perhaps expecting from you, Rob.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was very obvious.
Not quite. No, yes, there's some things to talk about there, but I'm going to go and make my list, and then we'll have a chat.
Alrighty, hit me with it, Dave.
At number 5, like you, I am also starting with a Pertwee story.
Okay.
I am putting at number 5, Death to the Daleks.
Ah, wow.
This is so comfortable because it is, yes, Doctor Who done by numbers, but done by the right numbers. It is a Terry Nation adventure. It is John Pertwee at the height of his powers, exploring an alien world. It's got a quarry. It's got Liz Sladen just starting out. It's got that wonderful idea of the Excellent City and that 4th part adventure, which I just remember being absolutely gripped by as a young boy. And it's just so much fun. It's so easy to watch, but it's never bad. It's never dull. It's just reliable, and I love it for that.
All right. What's number 4?
Number 4, I've gone back to the Troughton era with Tomb of the Cybermen.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is not a comfortable story. It's, in some ways, a quite graphic and violent story. It's certainly an exciting adventure, but again, it is the Troughton era doing what the Troughton era does really, really well.
Yeah.
Troughton himself and Fraser Hines are in perfect form in this one. There's lots of good repartee and good banter. There's the Cybermen being Cybermen. There's great sets. There's just a good adventure that I can put on and really feel comfortable enjoying. And of course, it is helped by the fact that I was 12 when the show was rediscovered. I remember seeing it for the first time, getting the VHS, so childhood memories are playing a part there as well.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3, I have got a McCoy, and that is Dragonfire.
Ooh.
To me, this is the comfort point of the McCoy era because it's my favourite of season 24, and it's where I feel the McCoy era suddenly coming together.
Okay.
I feel like McCoy's worked out what it is that he wants to do with this role. It's the one where we say goodbye to Bonnie Langford in a very strong story for her. But look, Bonnie, as we said many years ago on our Companions That Bridge Doctors episode, Bonnie is designed for Colin Baker's big brash doctor and never quite works as well with McCoy. But in walks Sophie Aldred as Ace, and she absolutely now forms the McCoy era. But as good as this part is, it's not yet into the dark, less comfortable part of the McCoy era.
No.
It's just a fun story. It looks lovely. Edward Peel's great as the villain. It's just lovely to watch. Again, helped by the fact it was the first McCoy story I saw.
Sure. Number 2.
At number 2, I've got a Hartnell, and I have picked The Daleks.
Right.
This is comfortable again because it's familiar and it's great. It's a story that just unfolds at a nice, even pace across 7 episodes. You have the Doctor and his companions. They arrive, they explore a mysterious jungle. They find a city and explore the mysterious city. They meet the mysterious Daleks and learn about them. They then escape, exploring through more of the city. They meet the Thals. There's then an adventure, an expedition through this horrible alien landscape for a great, exciting, climactic conclusion. It's never dull. It's lots of great adventure. It's Hartnell just so strong from so early on. The same with Ian, the same with Barbara. Again, familiar because I've seen the Cushion movie. I've watched this many times since I got a copy. I can just watch this very, very happily.
Okay, which leaves one more.
Number 1.
Yeah?
We have no snaps here, Rob, because my number 1 is Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Ah, nice.
This is a story I absolutely love. It's got time travel. It's got military unit in deserted London. Yeah. It's got Pertwee playing with gadgets and racing around in strange vehicles.
Yep.
It's got Liz Sladen being great. It's got the Brigadier. It's got Benton just being that wonderful, loyal character. It's got mad scientists. It's got dinosaurs, Rob. It's just got everything that I grew up loving from the Pertwee era, done so well.
Yeah.
It is probably the most watched Doctor Who story in my life, very heavily weighted back to being 6, 7, 8 years old and watching it again and again and again. But I can watch it again now and appreciate it on a different level and still just be happy watching it.
So many things to unpick there, Dave. I don't know where to start. Let's start with season 24, because if I had to pick a comfort episode from season 24, I think I'd pick Delta and the Bannermen and not Dragonfire.
Yeah, right.
Because I always think of that early scene where the bus is in that futuristic bus terminal. That feels like big and almost cinematic. I think of the location filming in Wales. That feels really good. And just the bonkers nature of the story just makes it very easy to rewatch and comfortable.
I agree with and understand everything you're saying.
Right.
And as you're saying, and I'm sort of watching in my mind's eye those Welsh hills rolling along and those lyrical Welsh voices. But it's just a little bit too naff, a bit too often for me to be comfortable watching it.
All right. Something else that came to me while you were talking through your picks, and that's how some of your picks are stories that aren't just not comfortable for me, but they're stories I don't even particularly like Death to the Daleks.
Yep.
It's always been a story. How do you describe it? I watch it and it's like it just bounces off of me.
Yep.
It just has never appealed. And another one is the Daleks, which I know on a Doctor Who podcast is heresy because, it's the Daleks. But it's just never cut through for me, that one.
And that comes back to what I said at the very start of the episode, Rob, because I think that comfort is a really personal thing. And therefore, these are, after 64 episodes, perhaps two of the most personal lists we've made. Maybe our top 5 Doctor Who characters we'll date tops it out for being a little bit more personal. And
yeah, we had no snaps there.
We had, no snaps for that one, but I make that point. I had 3 runners up. I was disappointed I didn't get into the list, Rob. Would you like to hear them?
Oh, for sure.
The first I had was the 5 Doctors.
Good.
So that was very close to a snap, and it could easily have been a snap. Destiny to the Daleks, again, just a fun, comfortable story to immerse myself in. And the Romans, one of the first Hartnells I saw, and just, again, like a fun, witty one that I can just put on and let it wash over me in a delightful sort of way. Yeah.
Comfort stories aren't necessarily going to be your favourite stories.
No, not at all.
Because, I think of something like Kinder. Kinder is well known on this podcast as being one of my favourite stories. But Kinder is not a comfortable story for me. Kinder would not make a top 10 or even a top 20 comfort stories. It's not comfortable at all. So, there are always going to be stories like that where you love them, but they just don't make the cut.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I would never consider putting the Silurians, Daleks' Master Plan, the Seeds of Doom, Robots of Death.
Yeah.
They are all top 10 stories for me, but I would never put them on a comfort list. They are stories that I need to be awake, and I need to be watching, and I need to be engaged. Like it's not a lie back and let it wash over you. It's right, I've got to steel myself to watch this and really appreciate it.
Yeah, which is maybe why my Caves of Androzani pick, when I made that, seemed to throw you a little, maybe?
It did, yes.
Yeah, because I totally get it. I mean, I tried to acknowledge it earlier. It's the violent one. It's the gun one at the end of Davo's era. I get why it would not seem comforting, but I guess at the same time you picked Tomb of the Cybermen as well, which is also in that sort of vein. We find comfort in different ways in these stories, perhaps.
Yeah, I understand, and I was surprised at the time, and even Remembrance a little bit surprised me, because I don't think of that as a relaxing, comfortable watch. I think of it as a high energy watch.
Yeah, and that's fair, but again, I sort of have that added background with Remembrance, personally.
Which is the point I was going to go on and make. I think that
right.
It's very, very clear going through both our lists that nostalgia, particularly childhood nostalgia, plays a big part in these.
For sure.
I think it's interesting when you look at the 10 stories we've picked, the Doctor who has the most on those lists is the Pert with 3 out of the 10.
Yeah, true.
And I don't think it's a coincidence that it was the Pertwee era that we saw again and again and again when we were kids growing up in Australia.
Conversely, though, we also saw shitloads of Tom Baker. And when I was going through these lists, I was going through the list of each Doctor. I was looking down the Tom Baker era going, no, definitely not, no. And there was loads of Tom, even though they're great stories, that I just couldn't put on the list at all.
Yes, it's amazing that there is no Tom Baker on either of our lists.
Yep, and very little New Who.
So yeah, let's deal with both of those quickly. I think Tom. Everyone I looked at and I thought maybe I would get into that. And the closest I got, as I say, was Destiny of the Daleks. It didn't quite make the list.
Right.
But again, there's a certain energy and a certain tempo to Tom's performance, and particularly to a lot of his era, particularly the Hinchcliffe era, that I think doesn't quite work as comfortable viewing. Robot would be close.
Yeah.
City of Death would be close.
Maybe.
But City of Death, I want to be listening to the wit rather than just sort of relaxing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And look, another thing I thought of when I was making my list were the BBC video releases. You know, when it comes to Pertwee, things like Day of the Daleks or Tom Baker, you know, Revenge of the Cyberman. Yeah. And that kind of nostalgia for those stories was kind of pushing a Tom from that early era that I saw on a BBC video once as very comfortable viewing. Maybe it might make the list, but yeah, Tom just couldn't make it in the end, regardless.
Yeah, and look, a lot of the Toms that were repeated when we were kids were the Hinchcliffe era, which is not known for its comfort.
No, it's not.
Whereas had we seen a lot more of the Graham Williams era, would something like the Androids of Tara maybe made the list?
Yeah, possibly. You also wanted to talk New Who.
Yeah, so look, only one New Who on our lists, and that's from you. I think there's a number of reasons. I think that the lack of childhood nostalgia obviously plays a role there. But I also think that the New Who stories are too short to be comfortable. I think by the time I relax and put on a New Who story and start to let it wash over me and just enjoy it and immerse myself, it's finished.
Yeah, fair.
And because of that, they're very highly packed. They are, for the most part, fairly high energy. And it is, you know, bang, bang, bang. I mean, people make the jokes that nowadays they do in a cold open what they would have done in part 1 of an old story in the classic era. And when you're going at that pace, are you really sitting back and relaxing and enjoying it in that comfortable sort of way? But maybe if we came back and did this in 10 years, would a few more sneak on?
Yeah, I think they would. I think something like Day of the Doctor might, because you have people who went to cinema screenings of it and seeing Tom come back, and in 10 years' time, you know, Tom's not going to be with us, you know, and I think people will look back on that fondly. I had A Christmas Carol on my list from New Who, primarily because of the song at the end, which really sells the story to me. It's a beautiful song in its own right, and just the narrative that she's singing her heart out, knowing she's going to die, I just really like.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And I think I'll also just finish by saying my two favourite Doctors, my two favourite eras from New Who are Eccleston and Capaldi. And like Tom, they are not comfortable Doctors.
Oh, God, no. Even Capaldi, when he's being funny, he's still sort of funny spiky, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, I'm not going to put on a Capaldi story and sit back in my slippers and relax.
No, you won't.
That doesn't mean I'm not going to love it. But yes, yeah. I think that's right. Costa, thank you for sending that one in to us.
Yeah,
I think we've both had a lovely time doing that. A rare no-snap episode, which is always lovely. But thank you again. Mm-hmm. As always, please do send in suggestions for the Hat of Rassilon. But it's now time to pick our topic for next month. And Rob.
Yes, Dave.
From listener Frankie Norton, we have...
Oh, I know
top
Frankie
5.
Norton.
Oh, you know Frankie Norton? Oh,
I do.
We have top 5.
Yes.
Classic.
Yeah.
Series directors.
Oh, golly. Oh, that... good topic, Frankie.
Now, I think we're heading to a golden snap, but how we get there could be very different.
Oh, and I think I know which director you might mean.
Ooh, we'll find out next month, listeners, because
Yeah,
that's when we're going to make our list. Thank you, as always, for listening. I've been Rob. No, I haven't. I've been Dave.
I've been Rob.
You've been Rob.
I have.
And we'll make some lists next month.
All right then. See you later, Dave.
Goodbye, Rob.